good afternoon, Speedgaming. We are coming back to you live with some more Metroid Fusion 100% as a part of our partnership or our tournament in partnership with Speedgaming Live 2024. The last time these two racers raced in a Metroid Fusion tournament, everybody had a good time. We've got the last match of our pools, mikefood versus ScifiGemini. These are two great runners. They are both guaranteed to advance to bracket based on their records in their pool. However, this is going to determine the seeding and who they race going forward. My name is Autumn Out of Habit, and I will be in a moment joined by Ronald Rage in the booth, because neither of us could pass up the chance to talk more about mikefood versus ScifiGemini. Both runners have put up some very respectable times here, and we're just waiting for the runners to ready up on this. I believe the winner of this race will face in quarterfinals Beria, and whoever loses this race will get to go up against Thunder. So, tough opponent no matter which way you come out of this race. That said, it looks like the runners have readied up, and we're dropping the gate, so after a little bit of time for the stream delay to catch up, we're going to be live and we're going to be going fast. Chat, what do we think the first item our runners are going to see is? Also, it looks like I am now being joined in the booth by Ronald Rage. Hi, Ron.
Very excited for this race here. Both these runners have a PV of sub 140, which is a very solid personal best to be had.
There aren't many times when I see a race come onto the calendar and I put myself in as commentator before I click the approve button on the race.
Yeah, exactly.
This was one of them.
I heard you mentioned how their race went in the any percent tournament. Sadly, no webcam on mikefood's side this time, unlike the last race, but it's still
we tried, but we couldn't quite get him in there.
Yeah.
Schmade saying that Mike is gonna 99% this. Bold prediction indeed. And our runners are off. Let's see what kind of climb we get. Slightly different strats, but both runners making a quick climb. And as we know, the front of the game is, aside from the initial climb, a little bit lacking in the action department, as we're going to get a lot of scenario information out of Adam. Of course, we're playing in the Japanese version because the text goes much more quickly. Text mashing is a very important skill in Metroid Fusion. It's not just a matter of button mashing, it is a matter of dismissing the text box as soon as the arrow comes up and then switching to another button to start the next text off. And ooh, Sci-Fi getting a little bit trolled by the Hornode pattern there, having to do a second jump to take out the Hornode before he could get out of the room. But we're still early and this is still anyone's game.
Yeah, text mashing is a huge skill to master. I think mikefood even has memorized, if not all, most of the text boxes in this game, so you can see his text right here in front of us just being incredibly quick. And it really does save a ton of time RTA over if you're just not practiced at all and you're just mashing A and B or down A and B. I'm trying to double check here. I think you said, yeah, so the loser of this race faces Thunder, which is one of our top runners, but the winner, I believe, faces me. So.
Oh, the winner. I thought the winner went up against Beria.
I'm double checking here, but yeah, Thunder's in my group, so it would make sense that since I got second in the group, I'll be facing whoever wins and gets first place here in their group.
That's what I get for just assuming how the tournament works instead of looking it up. It's not like I'm in charge of it or anything.
It's okay. We're doing a group stage here, so it's a little bit more complicated than just your basic seeding and bracket stage with elimination, with double elimination, what we usually used to do. Just make it a little
Well,
bit
Ron,
more.
since you're getting one of these runners, who do you want to see in your first round?
Judging
Neither
by
is a valid answer.
neither, yes, neither. Mike with the, I think his PB is about a minute better than Sci-Fi's. But yeah, I was just thinking the other day where it really doesn't matter who I face. It's going to be either impossible or I'd have to PB by like a minute, and then they would have to do one of their like worst runs.
Yeah, I'm looking through. It looks like each runner's only had one run in the tournament so far. It looks like Sci-Fi has clocked in with a 142. Mike had a 146. So your average is actually ahead of them.
True, true. Although Mike's race versus Dark Spy was interesting to say the least. The backwards cleanup or whatever he did. But that is a valid point, though. My average is better than both of them, I guess.
Yeah, that said, either of these runners can easily lock in and drop up 139, 140 on us at any point.
Mike getting absolutely carried, missing the double, but getting 0 beams. So not getting punished for missing the double, while Sci-Fi also getting a little bit punished, both missing the double here. But Sci-Fi only with 1 extra beam, which you'd love to see. Come up on the Arachnus fight. We do have 1 less missile here. We spent on getting that extra energy tank. So, yep, Mike getting yellow bomb there. That is very unfortunate. Gonna lose some time there.
Fortunately, he got that spawn double, so he only needed to get one of those shots in.
Yeah, very fortunate. Because if we didn't have to spend that missile, you would have that 1 extra missile, which makes the roll on Arachnus especially tough on Hundover.
Also, a nice sweet spot from Sci-Fi there.
Yep. Decent Arachnus fights from both ends.
Yeah, you take those Arachnus fights.
And they were both...
Then that wall kick in the Arachnus escape, honestly, is one of my favorite strats in the game, despite the fact that I, for whatever reason, can never get it.
Oh, yeah, it's very tough. I personally just grab the ledge and jump because that wall kick is very tough. I don't know how many frames, but I'm sure it's less than like 10 frames to get that. So well done.
Well, I feel a little better about myself.
Yeah, it's very tough.
And we see Mike opting to pick up the cubby hole missiles. It's a no-brainer in Hundo. I even think in any % race setting it's worth picking up. But the name of the game in Sector 1 is going to be missile management, and having 5 extra is just 5 more chances to be bad without getting punished.
Exactly. Flash calling out the yellow bomb, so shoutouts there. We get the very scary Saxon counter here. Oh, look at all those so scary.
Shoutouts to Flash Frost, of course. Had a very nice tournament run as well.
Yep. Almost getting 2nd place in our group. Just lost, barely lost. That was a really good race.
That was a good race, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping. Mike Food and Sci-Fi are also, as we mentioned, myself and Flash were the closest seeds as far as PB goes, but Mike Food and Sci-Fi also pretty close in seeding. So this will be a close one here, which is awesome to see. Or it should be a close one, judging by their personal bests. Yeah, Flash, I'm not gonna lie, I was showing Sci-Fi the end of the race last night, actually, when I was streaming some Hundo attempts. And that was the first time I saw your facial expression during the Omega. Fantastic facial expressions there from Flash Frost there. I think it was looked like a lot of like pain, agony, yelling. Great content though.
Yeah, there were some feels going on. Ooh, Mike nailing the Hornode room strat. You'll love to see it.
Yep. And also
Unfortunately, taking a little hit on the way out, so not at the benefit of full health. And full health in Sector 1 is very important.
even coming into the room with the door, getting that extra little bit of speed.
Yeah, at the end of the sector, we're going to have an eye door that we need to get through. We'll need at least 3 missiles for that. And Green X, which give us 2 missiles each, are a 20% drop. But if you're at full health, they're 100% drop. So we want to avoid trying to take hits as much as possible in Sector 1. That way we can keep our missile count up and not have to farm.
Name of the game in Sector 1 there is trying your hardest not to get hit so you can stay at 99 health. And, or in this case, 399 health, and getting all the green drops.
Yeah, one thing that does help is that each of the stabilizers is guaranteed to give you a green X drop on the kill, as long as you have a position where you're able to pick that up. Mike moving into the pirate climb. Ooh, falling down the shaft a little bit.
Oh, he was doing the patented very tough method of shooting the missile in midair, but the pirate jumped right in his way and caught him on his way down.
These pirates are jerks.
Yeah, that pirate climb is notoriously one of the, probably the most difficult room in this specific split in Sector 1 here. To do optimally, at least.
Yeah, it looks like Sci-Fi not getting quite enough coyote frames there, and walking off the platform just before the jump input registered. Mike missing a double, getting punished with 2 beams.
Getting punished
but
there.
Mike is through and the first 2 charge core.
Yeah, 921 entry is actually quite solid. If he would have hit the double though, he would be at 0 beams now, but still with only 2 total beams is still quite nice.
Ah, that was a perfect charge core kill too.
Yep, even
getting the double in position for the sweet spot.
Both these runners with really good RNG actually. Like none of them are hitting the double, but not getting too many beams at all. Unless Sci-Fi got beams on that first kind of iteration of the eye door. I didn't see the beginning of the eye door. But yep, both with a sub 10 pick up on charge beam. Not too shabby. Yeah, who in their right mind would like IPAs?
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, me neither. Ooh,
honestly,
beautiful.
If it's me, the fruitier the better.
That was a fantastic final generator room there. Mike doing it pretty much perfectly.
I blinked, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Sci-Fi with the nice climb into that last generator room. Yeah, both these guys having a few mistakes early on, but they are cooking at the moment.
Yeah, these two definitely taking this race seriously, and it looks like they both want to win it.
Yeah, the difference of fighting Thunder, or placing against Thunder and placing against me is, I think, like a 5 minutes difference in PB leeway that you have. So it's very important to win this race here if you want to reach the round of 4, the semifinals.
Yeah, like even looking at the leaderboard, Mike is currently in 6th place and Sci-Fi holds 7. If they have to go up against Thunder, Thunder is in 5th.
And I believe, what am I, like 12th or something like that? Maybe even more, like 16th or something.
17 at this point.
Okay.
I think a few bops have popped in on you.
Yeah, I haven't turned my PB in, but I don't think that would make a difference. Yeah, it's a big difference there. So this race is very important here for the winner to get the dub.
Yeah, people have been a little more interested in Hundo recently for reasons I can't begin to understand.
Yeah, not sure why. Really weird.
Not like we've got any sort of, event happening or anything.
It's always awesome when any of the tournaments happen, whether it's Rando or any percent or Hundo. It just brings not only new people to get runs in, but also returning runners to improve their PBs. It's always a fun kind of like month or 2 during the year.
Yeah, it's kind of nice how just like once a year we all come together and say, we should play some Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
Let's race each other.
It's always fun watching as well and commentating because you get to see maybe a room here, a room there, a room explained from this person or that person, and you get to learn maybe a technique or a strat that you wouldn't otherwise have known.
Yeah, like I was looking at the stabilizer 4 deboost that Mike was doing, and that looks like a much simpler, if slightly less swag looking setup than what I do, and I might try to steal that.
It's definitely, like, as I mentioned, the fastest way of doing it. It's a little tricky though because you have to be fully charged and you can't pseudo screw, otherwise you kill the Horned. So you have to kind of like jump into it, but not while screwing. But as long as you do that, you have to deboost to the right and then jump right into the stabilizer and kill it immediately.
Runners high-fiving in the Zoro corridor.
A great room to high-five in, actually. That one can... That room's notoriously...
We've got a big question in chat here, Ron. It's not a question for us, it's a question for Monkey. But chat trying to figure out if Monkey has ever run Hundo. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I have to look up on the leaderboard. Oh, he's got a 135, okay. Not too shabby. World record being a 134. And world record in Hundo also, at least in my opinion, being the hardest world record anybody could possibly try and take. It's just so well optimized and well played from Scotty there. Obviously, all the records are, whether it's AZ, normal, 80%, whatever.
And not only is it so optimized, but you have to keep playing at that level for over an hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a 101 IGT, which is just absolutely insane to even think of being possible. Wonder if we'll ever get a 1 flat, or who knows, a sub 1. Obviously, that's not even possible with current strats, but never say never in speedrunning.
I believe. That would honestly be really disappointing if we found out that the game capped at 1 hour flat and you just can't break the hour barrier.
Even like for tasks, it's just impossible.
But in my opinion, if the game isn't SMB1 then, or Dragster, there's always room to break some new barrier.
Mike just barely not getting that cycle for the bomb, so he has to lay that extra bomb. And
oh, it looks like Mike was trying to do the Polio damage boost strat, unfortunately just running into it instead.
Yeah. But yeah, fusion bombs quite slow to explode, so anytime we can skip a bomb block and go through it, these runners will definitely try and do that. And also missing the door fix there. Interesting.
And of course, for anyone watching this who wants to learn the run, the absolute best way that you can learn all of the door fixes is just stream your gameplay and let the community roast you on them.
Yep.
Or alternately, you can just watch Monkey's PB.
Yep. I mean, or you could read a spreadsheet that has all the information, but that's no fun. Sci-Fi also not doing the... Oh, yes, he did.
Time for Mike to go up against the big RNG gauntlet here. We've got Zazabi, and Zazabi's going to jump between 3 and 12 times.
2-beam 5 jump? I wasn't paying attention. Did he get a 2-beam?
I'll be honest, I missed it.
That might have been a 5 jump if you got 1 extra jump.
I believe Mike is, as we say in the industry, carried.
Yep, absolutely carried.
Good double there, good lead, and a quick Core X.
Missing the double there. Uncharacteristic there for Mike, because...
Missing a double, but backing it up pretty quickly, so that's only 3 seconds out of the way.
Right, yeah, not too much time lost there, but the doubles have been pretty shaky here, missing the... But I'm just only mentioning this because Mike's normally just looked very, very consistent at that. I'm sure as the race continues, he'll do better.
Sci-Fi showing off the double-double. A little bit slower of a core spawn, though.
Yeah, he didn't do the setup to get the sweet spot, but still.
It looks like Mike going for the traditional hundo sack skip. Good to see that he has not decided to adopt Flash Frost strats.
Or barrier strats. Imagine doing 80% sack skip in hundo. It couldn't be me.
I can't even imagine doing it in any percent, let alone in hundo. But, you know, at least at that point you're doing a skip. I thought that hundo was determined to be faster, though.
It is. Because you don't do the spring ball. You just run to the left. So, yeah. Easier
We just go in there with enough energy that we're like, yeah, we're not afraid of you, Sacks.
But also easy in quotation marks. If for some reason any percent feels better, it could be easier than hundo. It depends per player, per person, on how things feel.
Honestly, there could be some value even just going for the any percent skip just to get the reps in to keep it consistent.
Yep. Good point there.
And our foremost expert in chat on sack skip is saying that Beria has never failed that ever.
I think he failed it if he's never done it ever, I think he did it once, very recently, like literally. Although it might not have been a hundo run, it might have been an 80% run. I recall him talking about missing it in the past day or two. But missing it one time in all these runs in the past few months, not too shabby. And here we go into Sector 4. One of my favorite sectors in the early-ish, first 40-ish minutes of the game. Most of our cleanup is actually going to be done here, besides one power bomb that we get later after diffusion.
This is also one of the sectors that is really just shows off when a player is improving at the game as they're getting into it. Because it starts off being very non-fluid because there's just so much you have to do going through here, so many enemies you have to shoot out of the way. And just if you don't know exactly what your next step is, you're not going to hit it. But then as runners get better at the game, you start seeing them getting their movements flowing into each other more to the point where just a ton of micro-optimizations, which is really the name of this game in general.
Yeah, just saving those tiny amounts of time. We're talking frames in each room. It still adds up significantly.
That's one of the things that really drew me to the Fusion run in general, is just it's not a game with a bunch of crazy tech that gets away from the game, but rather a game where it's just finding ways to play as efficiently as possible.
All about knowledge, knowing the strats, and execution.
Mike getting trolled there, getting the unmorph to shoot the charge beam shot to open the door, but just out of position the door did not open.
Oh, interesting. Missed it.
I was going to call out how much I love that strat, and then it didn't work for him. Fusion gonna fusion.
Bad. Yeah, it feels bad, man.
And these runners are very close together here for this point in the run here. Mike just putting on a clinic climbing through the ouch room. We probably have a better name for that room, but I do not know a name for it.
You talk about the vertical room?
Yeah, the vertical room.
I call it gymnast room, and we've kind of adopted that because you're rolling, jumping, flipping, doing all sorts of crazy stuff in that room. Climbing, monkey bars.
I knew it had a name, I just couldn't remember it. It's my old rando runner in me. I only know names of rooms if they have items in them.
Yep, exactly. No item in that one, but it's a very, very fun room to optimize.
What's this room that Mike is in? I've never seen it before.
Big annoying snake with RNG troll pattern room.
Oh, okay.
That's what I tend to call it usually.
Has some pretty fire music.
Oh yeah, cat jams in. Nice pattern there from Mike. Didn't get any troll patterns that messed him up. He might have gotten one when it was invulnerable, but
Getting the double a little too far to the right and not getting the sweet spot, so having to wait a little bit longer for the item to be able to be picked up. And our runners high five as Mike getting out of the room, now having speed.
what's up, 23 speed pickup, which is pretty decent for sure.
Sci-Fi getting the, at least my favorite pattern to get in this room. I almost said the optimal pattern. I'm not sure if that's actually true.
It's pretty much optimal, whether you get it going
Oh,
to
and
the
nice
left
sweet
or to the
spot
right.
there for Sci-Fi.
It's pretty dang optimal. Looks like Sci-Fi's...
Meanwhile, we've got a dog in chat who is cat jamming, as dogs are known to do.
That song's fantastic. Looks like Sci-Fi's about 30 to
Mike using the
45.
missile variant of the strat there, and this time able to shoot the missile as while he's falling before morphing in time to not bounce hitting the ground, and traveling left just fast enough for the missile to be able to open the door.
Yep,
And those are the kind of micro optimizations that Sector 4 is all about.
Sci-Fi, sadly, doing the strategy where you fully charge your charge beam and then you morph so it shoots automatically to open up the missile expansion, but just barely morphed too early there, so losing a little bit of time, sadly.
Flash, why not just get a better PB instead?
Also, why not just submit it?
And Mike picking up the item in Waterway, not having to do a walk of shame.
Even sparking before he hit the ground, so saving a little bit of time there. Goo hype. I like Mike's kind of setups for, we call it, what is it, like, rubbing the doors. So you could just hold right and wait for the automatic doors to open, but it's faster to time your right or left input as the door is opening, so you don't lose any time as far as same as this acceleration goes. And every single door I've seen, Mike does like this little jump beforehand. So you see Sci-Fi doing it there, and it's gone perfectly every time. So that's definitely interesting. He does a little bit different than traditionally.
I'm gonna have to watch this back for that, because I've been trying to learn how to time that, and I've not been doing well at it.
Yeah, he did it.
Unfortunately, I suffer from a bad case of skill issue.
He did it, I'm pretty sure, in front of every single door in Sector 1, and then did it in front of that door too. Because in Sector 1, there's a lot of them. Every single generator room has one of those automatic doors that you have to time its opening.
And when we were saying that this game is about micro optimizations, that's what we mean.
Yep.
Or even a lot of times where you'll see runners falling in morph ball, unmorph, and then remorph before the ground so they don't bounce, for example.
Exactly, yep.
Just
And then-
all the little things that we do in Fusion to save a frame here, frame there, get a little bit closer to a new PB.
And alternatively, even like more optimization from that, where you can do an A press once you get spring ball as the morph hits the ground, and it kind of cancels the bounce animation. And I believe it's a little bit faster than the unmorph and morph. But obviously, we do that every time before we get the spring ball. Whew, that was close. Mike almost lost his Shine Spark there. But yeah, that spring ball optimization, I mean, it's just frames. But it adds up, because there's a lot of times where you can ball bounce in this game. Here we go.
It looks like, also looking over at the bracket, that we may have been wrong about where the racers end up after this. So it looks like the winner here is going to be going up against you, and the loser's going up against Monkey, not Thunder.
Oh yeah, Monkey, right. Monkey was in my group, wasn't he? Correct.
Monkey was in your group.
Like, it appears that none of us know anything.
I hear he's kind of good at this game.
Yeah, he is the #1 seed of this entire tournament. So, no Scotty in this tournament, sadly. But so Monkey ended up being the 1 seed.
Unfortunately, no data spark for Mike.
Yeah, Sci-Fi looked like he might have gone for it, but missed it. But pressing down late as opposed to early, so not losing like any time really besides the 1 second of time save if he hit the spark.
And chat, get your cat jams ready because we're about to need them. Although with this being Mike, I don't think we're going to need them for very long.
Yeah, this being Hondo, I'm sure he'll go for the quick kill box. So it will be either the fastest possible kill you can get, or if he misses the a couple missiles here and there, it will end up being about a 3.5 second.
Yeah, we got the 2 round.
But he got the 2 round. So
typically the idea with boxes, you have those monkey bars there that you climb up on and start shooting missiles down into box, but we say, no, we're going to melee this thing. And just clip inside its hitbox and unload missiles. If you get it in 3 rounds, you break even with the traditional strat. If you get it in 2 rounds, you save time. An important thing is you're also killing box farther on the right side of the screen, so it has less distance it has to travel before it can jump back into storage.
Exactly, and it saves about 3 to 3.5 seconds, and that's 3 to 3.5 seconds over a literal perfect fight from doing it the traditional way. So, Sci-Fi having a little bit more trouble here. It is a very difficult strat. I've been trying to learn it myself, and it's just I just can't get it consistent quite yet.
Yeah, you have to get, what, 5 missiles each fall?
Yeah, and you have to time the missiles the proper way, and you have to do, like, downward missiles into a diagonal missile, into a sideways missile. So it's a lot, for sure.
Well, that explains a bit of why I was never able to figure it out. I didn't know it was that complicated.
Yeah, the diagonal shot's really important for reasons. And then, just because it gets in the hitbox, I'm sure. And then you gotta jump out before taking too much damage. Although in Hundo it's a lot more lenient because we have, 3 more E-tanks than we normally have.
Yeah, 3 or 4 more E-tanks, so
yeah,
you don't really have to worry about dying to box from damage. I can't imagine a Hundo runner ever dying to box.
It could happen, I'm sure. Mistakes can be made.
Nope, this has never happened in the history of ever.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, right. Here we go into the dark sector, Sector 6. I'm sure it was dark on the original Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I've seen someone use some emulator filters that have made it look really cool and really dark.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, even just without the filters, it's still a very cool, nice-looking palette, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, the sector looks really cool. It just doesn't look especially dark to me.
Exactly. Like, especially on Mike's screen, you can barely even see the little spotlight.
Yeah, blink and you miss it, but Mike dropped a bomb on the way down before destroying the Garen there in order to open up a hole where he'll enter later in the run to pick up some missiles. Not sure if it'll be the way out of the sector or if he's saving it for cleanup.
Yeah, it depends mostly on the puffer patterns, but optimally, it's good to grab it in cleanup. Most recently, found that out. Oh, getting the bonk there. Feels bad.
I was just about to talk about how clean Mike's Sector 6 was. And right before I could open my mouth, bonk.
Hey, but there's an example of one of the spring balls canceling, or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but using a spring ball to disable the ball bounce that loses a little bit of time. And let's see, I believe Mike goes for the hardest possible sack skip here, where you get frozen in Morph Ball. You got to do a tiny little spring ball over the bomb block here.
Yeah, it looks like Mike wasn't able to get the first jump, immediately backed up to the standard sack skip here.
It's so tight, even if you just miss that first little small jump, you're not going to make it. So.
And Sci-Fi actually taking a hit from a Blue X, and Mike getting all 3 of the slugs going to the right in Wine Cellar.
Very fortunate pattern there, and using the bomb, which is slower, but it's fine.
Smiles. And let's see what skip Sci-Fi is going to do, as Mike getting absolutely carried, 0 beams.
Yeah, really good RNG from Mike here so far. Sci-Fi doing just the safe strat, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, especially in a race situation, I like seeing the safe strat there, because how much time does the optimal one save? Like
a second, maybe, second and a half.
I was gonna say, I didn't see it saving much more than a second.
Yeah. That's like at most, it could be less than that. I'm just kind of guesstimating there.
Also, allegedly, Mike just fought Megacore. I don't know, I was looking at Sci-Fi's screen for a second and I completely missed the fight.
Yeah, he did get a triple-double, but optimally we want to be inside the Megacore hitbox there, and if you do it perfectly, it's a 4-shot kill. Mike getting the 4-shot kill there. Missed one of the doubles, so only getting 2 doubles, which is perfectly fine. But
meanwhile, Sci-Fi getting some beams from the door there, just because the game is pulling for Mike here, it seems.
Still getting a perfect door fix there, which is nice. That door fix saves a ton of time, and it's pretty difficult to do as well. Getting the 4-shot, getting the first double. That one's the hardest because you always kill the Megacore in any random spot. It could be anywhere. Oh, misses the last double. But that's why the triple double is pretty difficult, because you never really know where to set up that first double.
And we always want to get doubles anywhere we can, because each double is going to save us approximately 3 seconds.
Yeah, it skips that, or it's a 2-in-1 shot that pretty much just skips that invulnerable state that the Core X is in, where nothing damages it.
Mike getting the annoying puffer pattern, but getting through it like a pro.
Yeah, that room there, that vertical room, is notorious because of how the puffers can just be anywhere and go any which way.
Ooh, and Mike doing the spring ball out of the hole into missiling the slug strat. I have always loved that strat.
Yeah, I also do that strat. And he got really good puffer patterns in that room, so not losing any time.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it looked like he wasn't going to pick up the missile until he saw the pattern he was getting.
That's how I usually do it. If the puffers are not in the way at all whatsoever, I'll pick it up. But if I can see that like maybe one's going like in a downward position, that if you're in morph you're gonna get hit, that's when I'll skip it. It just depends on what the puffers are doing.
If anyone's wondering why Sci-Fi just shot a couple of random missiles at a door or a charge beam at the wall there, it's because he's reacting. There are so many different directions that all of these enemies can be moving in Sector 6, and essentially runners are hedging their bets to shoot where the enemy might be so that it's not there if it is.
And we saw the perfect example I was talking about there, Sci-Fi. The puffer was directly in front of the little hole slot where the missile was, so he would either have to damage boost through that or sit there, kill it, wait for the gas to go away. So smartly just saying, hey, we're just going to skip it, and we're going to pick this up in the Sector 6 split later on when we are on the way to wave.
I tend to be in favor of picking up and clean up even if you get a good pattern, and that's mostly just because I like what it does to give you much better odds of the puffer being in a better position on the way to the E-tank on the way in Sector 6 cleanup.
Yeah, I believe that's the proper way of doing it. I'm just speaking strictly on how I do it. I believe that the way you're explaining it is the right way to do it. And also the morph, like, if you morph ball and like as you're falling into that hole, it lines up perfectly.
Yeah, and like the thing is, with a lot of these strats that save frames, maybe a second. Realistically, until you're at the level of competing against Scotty, like, that 1 second's not going to make or break your run.
Yeah, learning the game, it's all about what's comfy to you, what strategies you like, strategies you don't like. Maybe you can learn those strategies later on. It's mostly just about finishing runs and just improving overall.
And thankfully, we don't have a bunch of different routes that we have to worry about.
Yep.
So it's not like, oh yeah, spend the first 6 months running the game this way, and then once you finally get good enough for the hard route, abandon everything you know.
Yeah, right. Cough, cough, Ocarina of Time, cough, cough.
I was thinking Super Metroid.
Oh yeah, SM, definitely. A great example.
I think we've finally gotten away from calling them old route and new route.
The old PKRD.
Because new route's what, like 8 years old at this point?
It's funny, it's like everybody worries about, I don't run the game or much watch of it, but it's like, Fantoon's not the only hard part of that run either. It's a big roadblock, but you still got Ridley and a bunch of other crazy rooms. So I've getting some unfortunate patterns there from the waivers. You can shoot through that wall with your charge beam or missiles, but there was like 3 or 4 there in the way, so he wasn't able to kill all of them before the bomb went off.
I'm starting to think that Mike might have bribed the Galactic Federation to just give Sci-Fi the worst possible RNG.
His RNG hasn't been terrible. Like it hasn't been good. It's below average for sure. But Mike is, I think he has like anywhere from 1 to like 3 or 4 beams. I know he got 2 and 1. So I think it might be 4 beams. He got 2 on Zazabi, 1 charge core. Oh.
Opting to take it safe in the 200 missile room as well, not killing the pancake. Didn't need to and was very clean through that.
But yeah, I'm going to avoid doing any investigative journalism. If Mike's on PB pace, so be it. I'm not going to look or see. No commentators curse this time.
What, you don't want to ruin another runner's PB pace?
I know, right? Yeah, no, I'll pass this time. This time, maybe next commentator, next run. Oh, Sci-Fi getting a very unfortunate pattern there, where the Ripper spawned, but spawned facing to the left. So I had to wait for it to slowly go to the left, then go to the right, and freeze it.
Meanwhile, Mike hearing that there might be some sort of an emergency happening over with our friend Franker Z.
Franker Z, emergency, something, doggo, emote emoji. Yeah, this is a very fun segment, though, in Hundo, where from ice missiles all the way until leaving Sector 3 after getting wide beam, there's just a lot of rooms with a lot of enemies, a lot of reaction, a lot of corners being cut.
Emergency is legitimately my favorite segment of the game to run in Hundo and in any percent.
A lot of really tough rooms that, when done correctly and well, can save a bunch of time and feels real good as well. Like not talking to Adam. Craziness. Mike may or may not have a personal best with talking to Adam in his personal best.
I've definitely had a PB or 2 where I tried to talk to Adam there. I also used to be really bad about talking to Adam on the way to animals.
Mike cut that corner so close. Oh man, that was risky for sure.
Calculated.
Barely went over, completely missed the first crumble block. Just barely hit the second crumble block, and there's only 2. If you miss the second crumble block, you gotta go all the way back. But saving pretty much as much time as you possibly can there by cutting the corner. really good emergency. Only very, very small time losses I've noticed from Mike's side. Right as I say it, though. Getting hit 4 times.
Ronald Rage, the king of the commentator's curse.
Yep. It's not on purpose, I promise. Mike just has skill issues.
Mike's game actually remembered that it has the ability to send him a beam.
Yeah, 1 beam, not too shabby.
We've got the double. Are we getting the double-double? We're getting the double-double into the sweet spot with a 433, very respectable emergency.
Nice. With the beam, so, I mean, that would have been a 436. So even with those couple of mistakes in the big room, which is the hardest room in emergency, in my opinion, very solid emergency time from Mike there.
Oh yeah, the big room, there's just so much going on there, and it all hurts you, and every time it hurts you, it knocks you back.
Yeah, to be a little technical here, the reason why he got hit by that stretchy in the big room, you see Sci-Fi going through it right now, is he jumped a little too high, and so you see Sci-Fi jumping lower, and that's why the stretchy reacted earlier.
So he got his attention sooner, and it was ready to stretch out to get him.
Yeah, he got combo killed there. Sci-Fi also, I haven't seen his entire emergency, but coming up to the door at 450, that's very solid.
And getting a 3 beams, a little less solid.
That is just, you can see it. Roughly
Mike
9
continuing to be
lost.
carried.
Yeah, roughly 9 seconds lost to RNG there for Sci-Fi.
Looks like both of those were singles.
I couldn't tell. You can
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were.
The math checks out.
Mm-hmm. You could. It's really easy to see doubles normally with Ice Beam or with Ice Missile because you see the 2 snowflakes. But
Sci-Fi just wanted to meme for us and get the 420 emergency.
Bang!
I can't tell what the milliseconds were on that.
420.69, I believe.
I used to have a set of practice save states that entered the room starting at 420.69.
Nice.
Because if you're going to make practice save states, you've got to meme them.
Yep. But yeah, normally you can see how a double with ice, with actually any beam, but it's much easier with ice because you'll see the 2 snowflakes. But sometimes they're so close, they're just right on top of each other, it's hard to see. Whereas with regular missiles and supers, you just have the explosion of the missile itself. So
Sci-Fi having a little bit of trouble in the red tower climb here.
Yeah, it's a tough room for sure, but slipping up a couple times.
One of the fastest looking rooms when all the strats go right with it too.
Yeah, he was going for the fast climb there, so even though he lost some time there, that's a very tough room to do optimally. So can't blame the little bit of time lost there. Speaking of
clean climb up to the animals from Mike here.
Yeah, very nice. That's one of the few rooms in the powerbomb split that's actually a lot of fun. That vertical room before the elevator.
Is Mike going to give us an impossible strat, or is he trying for the new strat?
I know the new strat literally just like, yeah, okay. I believe it's like impossible strat doesn't save any time over the quote unquote new strat, so it's just harder, doesn't save time. I could be wrong, but I believe that's correct. Where impossible, there's really no reason to go for it anymore besides swag.
True, but what's more important than swag?
Yeah, it's funny.
Also, where are these animals?
Oh, and all 3 animals coming up before the text leaves the screen. That's like a 1% chance, maybe even lower 1% chance. That's going to be huge time save for Mike, getting absolutely carried in this run. Like, this should be like a free like gold for Mike here, as long as he just plays well. Because that's like 6 seconds of time save over like quote unquote average animals, which I've always said average animals is just slow animals. Because they're always slow.
It took me a long time before I even learned in this game that there was a good animals pattern.
It's so rare. as I mentioned, it's either like a 1% chance or lower than 1% chance. It's very, very, very rare. Oh, Sci-Fi missing the missile there. Smartly being patient. Oh, tough room here for Sci-Fi. Oh.
He makes it through, though.
Yeah, I know that feel, too, because I also had made a mistake in that room, and I killed the top stretchy. So that's why I was kind of commending Sci-Fi for being a little safe there, but unfortunate time loss. Especially with Mike getting perfect animals. Sci-Fi showing off what animals normally is. 2 come out immediately, and then you gotta wait 5 or 6 seconds for the last one to come out. But honestly, Sci-Fi's animals were, I would consider those above average.
Yeah, those look pretty decent to me.
Yeah.
It just always feels slow when you have them start popping out so fast, and then the others are just like...
Yeah, just running right by, and then comes back, and then stops, thinks about it, then finally jumps out.
Especially the little Decora that I swear is just doing laps back there.
Yeah, playing on the tire swings. Here, how about this? Trivia for chat here. How many, this is a quiz, seeing if you're paying attention. How many tire swings are in the back little playground area of the animals? Let's see if anybody gets it. As we move on to Sector 5 here.
Yeah, Sector 5 on the powerbomb split, the entry is just probably the least interesting part of the run. Yeah. We've seen it all before. There's nothing really new or fancy here.
Yeah, it's decent amount of backtracking, no bosses, really nothing crazy. Honestly, not even many pickups either, just a couple missile packs.
Even in the Adam text, even Adam doesn't really care. He's just like, you know where the data room is, go there.
Yeah, exactly. But once we get power bombs, things really start to ramp up.
I thought Mike was going to go for the wall kick setup, but opting to grab the ladder and just take the safe route of freezing the Ripper.
Yeah, that wall kick setup is super, super difficult. But as you said, I think it looked like he's going for it. But anyways, 3 tire swings. Feels bad. Nobody answered. I forget the name. We have a little trivia thing for Fusion. Forget the name though. But yeah, once we get power bombs, there's just, even in Sector 5, there's this room coming up, Mike's entering now, where you have to react to the Rippers and freeze them and climb up. Kahoot. There we go. Thanks, Barry. And then after that, there's that annoying room with the Rippers. And then we have a very fun RNG boss. It is RNG, but also very fun and reactive of Yakuza. And then Yakuza is kind of the beginning of what we call the gauntlet of bosses. There's just a boss after boss after boss after boss. Barry just coming in to help a brother out. Appreciate you.
Ron, thank you for not ruining anyone's Ripper Road today.
I was being quiet on purpose.
There's a reason I waited until Mike was through it.
Yeah. But yeah, coming up, as I mentioned, tons of bosses that unlock a chain of upgrades that we're going to get. And it goes Yakuza, into Notori, into Nightmare. And then I believe, there's Box 2 as well, and then Ridley. So a ton of bosses back to back. So this gauntlet, as I mentioned, is very fun.
Yeah, Hondo really is basically just 3 games stitched together, because you've got your exploration phase into the boss rush phase, and then the cleanup phase.
Cleanup, yep. I believe it's like 5 bosses in 20 minutes-ish.
Depends on how skilled you are.
Exactly.
If you're playing casually, it'll be over the course of a few hours because you're going to die a bunch to them.
Yep, could be less, could be more. Myself just kind of finding out that you should stop and lay a powerbomb early there before Ripper Road. Noted.
Mike heading into the freezer. I think these chicken wings look a little expired.
Frozen chicky wings, yeah, they just crumble. Ew.
It fell right apart. Hope we don't run into those anywhere else.
Sci-Fi getting the speed boost block break. That is so difficult. Well done from Sci-Fi.
You love to see it.
Wish we had like a instant replay for that. That is super difficult to do.
Mike taking a hit in Spitter Hallway, but still has enough space to build up some speed.
That has to be like a 1 or 2 frame jump there. I mean, I don't know for sure because I haven't timed it or looked at it, but just from as far as how hard it is from myself trying it. And that's
I'm trying to figure out if Mike got both of the powerbomb blocks there.
It looked like he did.
I think he just got the second one, but it looked close.
Even if he didn't, it's not the biggest deal. It loses a little bit of time, but you just morph and kind of spring ball over it.
Yeah, it just feels bad. But non-issue as Mike did get both of the blocks.
Yep. Going into Vine Room here. Always nice to kind of clear out these vines in a way where it's just as fast as possible to get through the room. And we got Yakuza coming up. I don't know if Schmade's still here, but you want to Schmade Stradamus the Yakuza fight?
Oh, and Sci-Fi getting trolled by the maintenance tunnel here.
Yeah, it looked like he placed his powerbomb a little bit too early there.
Yeah, for whatever reason in this room, depending on where you place your powerbomb depends on, or determines whether it takes out all the blocks for reasons.
1-3, let's see if Schmade's right. At least Schmade's giving it, like, not horrible, but also not... Like, not great, but also not horrible. One beam! One beam! No way.
Are we gonna get the legendary 1-0?
Like, not going for the jump into it. No way. No way.
Schmade with the call.
Oh my. Oh, dude. Schmade calling Mike's Notori and Yakuza patterns and Idor beams. That's kind of insane. I think Mike should just win the tournament. Schmade should just win the tournament just for that.
It looks like Schmade is saying that Sci-Fi will get a 2-2.
Okay.
I'm calling for a 3-1 for Sci-Fi.
I will say nothing. Surely if I say something good, he'll get a 4-4, so.
Meanwhile, Mike threw Yakuza, picking up the space jump. Which is good, because otherwise he would be trapped in this room forever.
Yeah. Gets rid of our wall kicks, which is a little sad, but opens up exploration, which is always nice.
I played a randomizer seed where space jump was vanilla and you had to point of no return it.
Oh, that's kind of brutal. I'm sure that was like the last check you did too, because God forbid.
Yeah, like who would ever think to go to Yakuza without space jump? And we got a 0 there.
Well, Shmade, at least you were right for the for both mics. I mean, you kind of were, but yeah, I get you. Yeah, neither player going for the optimal Yakuza. I don't go for it either, where you jump. You go to the far right wall and you wall jump up. Wait, Autumn, did you say 1-3 or did you say 3-1?
It said 3-1.
Okay, so opposite, pretty much. But at the strategy I'm mentioning, it opens up where your like gold can be faster, but also it just introduces like where you can also get, instead of 4 round being maximum, you can actually get a 5 round there. So
Nice Yakuza for Sci-Fi.
We got Mike coming up to Notori, one of the more fun bosses in Hundo compared to any percent, because instead of 40 to 45, maybe 50 missiles, you have 125. So you
Hondo
just,
Notori is a good way to take out your frustrations with other category Notoris.
yeah. And with kind of just like tech smashing in this game, you can't just mash B to go get the fastest possible missile spam. It's more about a methodical spam because you can only have 2 missiles on the screen at a time. So it's just kind of just like, as I mentioned, like a methodical way of just kind of pressing it in a way where you just get the most missiles in on the screen at one time.
Welcome to Metroid Fusion, where even our mashing isn't mashing.
Yeah, it depends on like how far away you are. Like the closer you are to the enemy, the faster you can mash. And it's also the same way on to a lesser extent on Nightmare as well. But Nightmare has the fun aspect of there being a lag as well. So a little bit less fun than Notori, where you're just spamming to your heart's content. Spamming quotation marks. Sci-Fi was a very nice couple of rooms there. Very clean. It's always been tricky for me in that room where you lay the power bomb on when to run to the left there, and also in the big room, done quite well.
And mikefood going with the optimal pathing, coming in here to pick up the missile on the way out of Sector 2.
Is it optimal though? Yeah, it is. I couldn't imagine anybody going for that like in cleanup instead of right now. Be weird.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen people do other weird strats.
Nice set of doubles there. Sci-Fi didn't even need to.
Didn't need the triple-double, but got the triple-double.
Yep. Not too shabby with pretty much an hour flat plasma beam.
I think there was a while where that was my any percent plasma split.
Yeah, these runners are just
Just to really put in perspective of what these runners can do to this game.
Yeah, and Sci-Fi even running on keyboard too, so pretty insane.
I don't know how people do it, but like you see in most platformers, high-level play has a lot of keyboard players.
I believe right now it's just Sci-Fi and Pulsemore, at least at the top 20 level, who run on keyboard. Schmade used to, but now runs on GameCube.
Is GameCube becoming the new meta?
Please no. PS4 all the way.
You know, I used to agree until my PS4 controller unfortunately died.
And Sci-Fi kind of showing off another reason why I should do this room. My only reason was really just because if that ouch is in that exact position there, it's like a
Ooh, Mike trying to show some swag here, and unfortunately just failure to launch.
Trying to go for Nightmare Space Boost and losing his spark. Usually you lose your spark in these transitions of the broken doors because of how hard it is to transition a space boost in broken doors. But
You
Mike
have
is
to be
losing
going up through the door or you lose your speed. If you bonk the ceiling, you lose your speed. If you look at the game funny, you lose your speed.
Yep. But Mike losing it on the first A press there, so feels bad.
Yeah. Could not have lost it earlier.
Hey, at least
Unless he just quit holding right.
But yeah, funny that Sci-Fi showing off. You can just pseudo screw that ouch. You don't have to wait till you get screw attack. I'm feeling called out. I'm feeling like I'm calling out myself right now. Although I'm talking, as we mentioned earlier, getting that missile early as opposed to late saves less than a half a second. So, but still saves time. It adds up. especially at the high level.
Yeah, and honestly, until you're getting into that level of optimization, the fastest strats are the ones you're most comfortable with usually. Because the fastest strat in the game isn't going to save you time if you fail it 10 times. Sci-Fi opting for the classic. This was your turn for Discord to cut out half of your Wii.
Oh, did it cut it out just like you? That's funny.
Yep. You were like popping in and out on it.
Fantastic.
While the Shine Spark is not as swag as the Space Boost, we still love to see it. Also, Sci-Fi showing off the pillar in the mini fridge that I always forget is there.
And honestly, even that Shine Spark is not free at all. I remember when I just started running the game, that was one of the scariest parts of the run, actually, for me. Once you reach a specific level, you usually get it.
Mike getting the standard Nightmare fight here.
Yep.
Can't be more than like 2 more missiles left here. And it was 3 just to spite me.
Yeah, Mike, as long as, or what he just did, as long as you enter that room facing to the right, and you, what is Mike doing? Anyways, you're facing the right, and you not kill, but end the first phase of Nightmare at a specific point, Nightmare will always give you the same pattern. Mike's showing it off right there. That was the pattern. Where
also, shout out to Hex4F in chat. RTA Wii versus IGT Wii.
Nice. Well said, well said. But yeah, Nightmare will always just kind of swoop to the bottom right, go up, swoop to the left, and it's the easiest kind of pattern, quote unquote, that Nightmare can give you. So it's always nice.
Also, now that Sci-Fi in here, we can confirm that neither runner opting to bomb out the tunnel to get the E-Tank.
Yeah,
Fortunate. You hate to see the bomb of the tunnel.
Not sure. Yep, Sci-Fi also getting the pattern I mentioned, where he goes to the bottom right, left, you just jump over Nightmare, and then you end up killing the second phase.
And Mike pretty clean through worst room in the game.
Yeah, worst room in the game could definitely be much worse than what we saw Mike do there.
Yeah, taking a couple of hits, but through there.
Yeah.
And Sci-Fi making up a little bit of time by having a better gravity core.
Yeah, Mike's gravity core was definitely interesting to say the least. And here we come into lower 4, which is one of my favorite kind of sections of any percent / Hundo, where Hundo you got more rooms for sure. Any percent you don't get to deal with the worst room of the game, but still lots of tight corners, as we saw Mike just do there. Very tough, like little small jump to get through those bomb blocks with a speed booster. And just lots of tiny optimizations. And as we'll see coming up here, we have a Kago Spark room that is notoriously, when you're kind of trying to get like a sub 145, this trick can save or lose a ton of time.
It is not easy.
Oh, not easy at all. You gotta really cut the Shine Spark timer really close there. Multiple times as well. Not just once, but twice. Ooh, Mike with some pretty bad shots there on the golden crabs, but getting through. Giving Sci-Fi a little bit of time to catch up here.
Yeah, Mike definitely with a solid lead at this point. I'd say a little over a minute. But with a full cleanup left to go, as well as a couple of difficult bosses, this is still anyone's race.
Definitely. Oh, I didn't know you can lay that power bomb there. Good to know. I always lay my power bomb a little bit further to the right.
The best part about commentating these races is getting to learn all of the new strats.
Yeah, Sci-Fi getting another swag strat there, getting a pixel perfect, I forget what exactly it's called, where you just fall right, hole in one. into red doors. So 2-0 as far as swag strats go for Sci-Fi. And that, as I mentioned, it is pixel perfect to get that. Not easy. Nice double red on Mike's screen here. Getting the Kago Spark that we mentioned earlier. Well
and
done,
not
Mike.
getting the bonk after Kago Spark.
Yeah, kind of a little small, funny thing with Kago Spark. If you kind of spark with your head right next to the shine spark, or shine, whatever you want to call it, speed break blocks, you will just bonk. You will not go through the speed blocks.
It
So you
feels
gotta-
really bad if you do that the first time that you ever actually get through the Kago and get the speed keep.
Yeah, because ultimately you want to do that, but you just bonk and lose what about 10-15 seconds. And now we have Sci-Fi coming up. This big room here, coming up to the Kago Spark. While
Mike is going to remember to go pick up the power bombs.
Yep, as I mentioned.
Very easy way to get a 99% run is just forget this item.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, in about like the 20-minute mark, we did most of our cleanup in Sector 4 on the first trip, but we need power bombs to get this one last item here.
And Mike with the perfect timing there, laying the power bomb to open the way to the power bomb pickup, and then rolling to the right to give a good setup to be able to keep going to the left and keep at speed going through as the blocks break in front of him.
Well done. Well done. Sci-Fi getting through Kago Spark room. Nicely done. I know these runners have made it look easy. I think that's 4 for 4 in this race and the last race, but it is very easy to miss that strat. Whether you're getting hit by an enemy, missing the speed keep, there's many ways to, or just bonking in general.
Yeah, these two runners, they're just built different.
Exactly. But yeah, now that we got that last power bomb, we will only be going into Sector 4 for a brief moment in cleanup here. All the items have been gotten here.
And I believe this upcoming Adam cutscene, I'm pretty sure he's just going to tell Mike, hey, you're doing a great job. How about you go play some Xbox?
Sounds about right. Look, I just saw Xbox right there. No, that said NOC. I'm sure it translates into play Xbox.
I mean, I believe you.
Interesting powerbomb placement and deboost, but Sci-Fi with a really nice escape out of Sector 4 there as Mike Food gets a nice little space boost. One of the easiest space boosts in the game, but still cool to watch.
We do love our space boosts here in the Metroid Fusion community.
None of them are free, but some are definitely easier than others. You have to arch, there's no other way to shoot besides holding your charge before starting it and just R shooting. That's how you open doors. And besides that, it's just all about hitting A at your specific amount of time, whether it's frames or seconds.
So what you're saying is that space boosting was Flappy Bird before Flappy Bird.
Pretty much, yeah. Hit button at right time. GG.
Nice freeze there from Mike to make a little platform to get out of the room.
Yep. Little strat there to freeze the menu so you don't have to do that extra speed or space jump. Let's see how many jumps Mike can get here. Minimal jumps is 1. That is very.
I think he's got it on this cycle. No, tanking the first missile.
Ending up getting 3 or 4 jumps. That's still totally fine.
And this is the one core that most runners don't even begin to attempt doubles on. Up until a year or two ago, it was thought that it was not possible outside of a task to actually save time doing a double here because all of the setups ended up losing time. We have had a runner or two manage to get it RTA and get it to save time, but the setup is so difficult that it's generally just not worth going for.
A monkey, as I mentioned earlier, actually did get a double in one of his races here. So, and there's multiple different reasons of why it's so hard. As you'll see in a little bit on Sci-Fi's screen when he fights Xbox. Usually when we try and hit doubles, we need to kind of jump over the core and kind of lead it towards you in like a diagonal pattern. So as you're shooting the two missiles, it just kind of, the core just kind of goes into the two missiles. But you just don't have the room in this room. It's just impossible. And then on top of that, the fusion missiles are the hardest missile to get doubles on. And on top of that...
Oh, beautiful fight from Sci-Fi there.
Sci-Fi getting the one jump. Beautiful. That is incredible. So, well done.
Shades of the first box strat, just eventually diving into Xbox and letting out the missiles.
And he went for the doubles there, too. He went for the two doubles, but he missed them. But, yeah, this is also a core... an X core with a beam X core, excuse me. So the hitbox is even smaller than a normal core. So just reason after reason after reason on why doubles on that core is so difficult.
Can't wait until 2026 when the meta says you have to go for and get them to have a run that lives.
But yeah, Sci-Fi, as Otto mentioned, that is pretty much the fastest Xbox kill you can do, and Xbox is one of the hardest bosses, at least in my opinion, to optimize. So, well.
Also, SMH my head at Mike not stacking the Metroids in the restricted area.
Feels bad, man. He's a ZM main, he should know. Stack the Metroids.
Thank you, Sci-Fi.
Bang! For those who don't know, Mike is actually incredibly talented. Oh, he gets the, I call it the step stool strat, where that Ripper spawns at the perfect spot where you can just jump right over. Maybe it's like a 1 in 10, 1 in 20 chance. But yeah, Mike is literally a top 2 runner in Metroid Zero mission. I believe 80% and Hundo, with only Scotty being faster than him. So his main game, this guy is absolutely phenomenal at.
He's no slouch at Metroid Fusion either.
Exactly.
I mean, 6th place in Hundo, nothing to sneeze at. And actually 6th in any percent also.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that he beat that recently.
Yeah, I think he has a, what is it, a low 113 in any percent?
Oh, he's got a 112.26.
Oh my, what? I didn't even know that. A 112.26 is like, a year ago that'd be like second or like third place.
Yeah,
Wow.
That was the second he needed to pop Destructor of all people.
This guy is absolutely insane. I mentioned it earlier with his text mashing, he's one of the best, but also just, I mean, optimal movement. His early game is just so phenomenal. And then I think Monkey finally got him to finally practice late game, and that pushed him over the edge to be a okay. Top 6, top 8 runner.
Beautiful Ridley fight there.
That was pretty much perfect. I think he only was late on like 1 charge beam. I've been kind of hard practicing Ridley lately, learning the fastest way of killing it, so that's pretty much exactly what you want to see on Mike's side there.
Yeah, the Ridley fight's easy. You can just get it to go on script, except that you have to be really good to actually hit everything to get it on script.
Yeah, I learned literally today that you not only have to jump at specific times, well, not really specific, as fast as possible, and you have to shoot your charge beam so quickly, it's pretty much just a visual cue of seeing when your charge beam fully charges and just immediately releasing there. Sci-Fi there. Pretty much perfect Golden Pirates. Well played on Sci-Fi's screen. I think he's catching up a little bit as far as Sector 6 and lower Sector 1 has gone.
He's definitely making up some time here.
Yeah,
also, we had a good high five from our runners back in the Golden Pirate room.
5, jump.
Yeah, I still remember when the common wisdom with the Ridley fight was you can't predict or control what Ridley's gonna do, just shoot diagonal shots and kill it.
Yeah, perfect Ridley fight there with 0 beams. Sci-Fi is on it right now. Oh, and he got the downward double.
I think we can officially say that Sci-Fi is locked in.
Sci-Fi is cooking right now. Ah, he did miss. He got 1 double, which is one of the hardest doubles you can possibly get in Fusion, which is a downward diffusion double.
And now both of our runners officially in cleanup.
Yep. Yeah, Sci-Fi definitely made up.
118.10 for Mike entering the Ghidorah room here.
Let's see.
So we'll see where Sci-Fi goes through that door transition.
First kind of iteration of Saveless, not the hardest, just more of a setup phase. Second iteration, he needs to make sure and press down before he gets into the save room. I mean, that's why it's called Saveless, pretty much.
And as a community, we've been talking about a potential extension category for minimizing the map tiles revealed, and Saveless will be required in that. Oh,
Perfectly
Mike
done by the
bonking
way.
ceiling.
Just kidding, not perfectly done. He's got to redo it all now. Oh, huge mistake from Mike. And that's going to get Sci-Fi to catch up quite a bit here. Sci-Fi messing up a little bit as well.
We said it's still anyone's race, and these runners proving why that is.
I mean, that was roughly like a 20-second mistake. And as we mentioned, I believe Sci-Fi made up maybe like 5 to 10 seconds, maybe even more. I wasn't really counting on Sector 6 and lower 1. So now, let's just say you said 1:18.10. Let's say 1:19.30
So
there.
they were a minute and 22 seconds apart, and Mike just lost a lot of those seconds.
Still about a minute though. Sci-Fi going for Saveless as well.
And there are a lot of rooms that can contribute here. There's Run Crumbler that can have an effect. Ripper Tower we've seen be an equalizer. Zazabi Speedway.
Sector 6 as well. You said the Run Crumbler room.
Sector 6 just in general.
Ah, Sci-Fi missing the Saveless there. I'm not sure. I guess. Yeah, that's actually a backup I didn't even know about. Sci-Fi just pulled off there. So cool.
Oh, I thought Sci-Fi was about to bonk there for a second.
That was so close. Oh my goodness. But yeah,
Sci-Fi just built different.
Yeah, Mike is going for the space. No, not the space boost here, but I believe he goes for the space boost in Sector 6, so that could go wrong as well.
Do you think we'll see Sci-Fi go for the Lava Dive space boost?
I'm not really sure. I'm not seeing Sci-Fi go. I don't think so because hasn't been running as much as he used to. But you never know. And yeah, you said a minute 22. Now it's pretty much exactly a minute difference. Sci-Fi entering that room at 1:20:31, I think. Interesting way of doing this room, Mike opting not to grab the power bomb or E-tank.
Hopefully he remembers on the second pass.
Yep, Sci-Fi did go for it. Taking a little bit behind because I've refreshed in a while. So he did not continue the space boost there, but props for going for it. He probably knows he's behind as well, so might as well go for the swag strats, or not even swag, the faster strats.
And honestly, it's not like it loses a lot of time to space boost to the first item, drop down, and then get the third item on the way out of the room.
Yes, as you said, getting the first item is the most important. But still does lose a couple seconds having to space jump your way up there. But I respect the attempt here. Sector 3 space boost, in my opinion, is probably it's still difficult, but it's probably like the second easiest. So we see Sci-Fi going for the Powerbomb E-Tank combo there. Mike getting the spring ball in the lava maze section. That spring ball is not easy, so well done for Mike. And we see in these rooms where there's a shutter in the next room, our runners jumping through the door and are shooting the shutter just to save that a little bit of a couple frames here. Mike just did it there. As opposed to going through the door and having to diagonally shoot and wait for the shutter to open.
And Mike getting ready to shoot up the express elevator. I used to be a fan of calling the room the garbage chute, but in Hundo we're always going up the room, so I have to give a shout out to Army of One for the room name.
I mean, I guess it does make sense when you're going down. It kind of does look like it.
Yeah, and at the time I called it garbage chute because in Rando it was almost always garbage and takes forever to check it.
Ooh, Mike not doing the quote-unquote door fix that doesn't save time but kills the two Novas in the top of the room, but getting lucky, so...
Oh, and Mike also a little bit too high with the space boost there.
Tried to do the space boost, but as you mentioned, too high. So Sci-Fi with a little bit more time save here. Oh, and missing the power bomb as well, so... Well, maybe that first power bomb was just to open up the long blocks, not sure.
RNG manip.
Yeah, there we go. RNG manip and cleanup. Ooh.
See, this is why you want RNG in your games, so that whenever you miss a strat, you can say it was RNG manip.
Exactly.
My first speed game ever was Celeste, and you can't blame anything on RNG there.
As we see Mike doing the, I call it impossible jump to break those blocks instead of speed boosting. But yeah, Sci-Fi did a incredible spark up there in the, as you mentioned, the garbage chute. That was insane. But since Sci-Fi got the space boost earlier on, we can just go right through the room, save that time.
Yeah, Sci-Fi definitely cutting into Mike's lead here.
Yep, he even left that little block there. I noticed he missiled it instead of hitting it with a wide beam. Oh, getting owned by the lava flames a little bit, but that's pretty clever there. So his jump was much shorter, saving a couple frames. And Sci-Fi also getting that jump. I gotta learn.
That jump is not easy to get.
Yeah, I've tried it over and over and over again, and I can't get it. It's much different from the Sector 6 one, because the Sector 6 one, there's only like 3 blocks. This one's like maybe 6, probably double the height.
I used to go for it in Rando, and I never really got good at telling what the difference was between when I got it and when I didn't.
I'm sure there's like a strategy, like you gotta do this input here, this input there, but I just don't know it personally to figure it out.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a strat. I don't know the strat.
Yeah, me neither.
There's a reason why these guys are putting on a show, and I was not cooking nearly as much.
You will cook though, I'm sure you can definitely cook.
Meanwhile, Mike in Sector 6, the hardest part of cleanup, I would say.
Especially optimally, this Sector 6 is insane. Both these players with sub 140 PB, so we assume they will be going for the tough strategies. Tough strategy coming up here on Mike's screen, where he may be going for a space boost, may not. He's clearing out everything here now.
Yep, he's going for it.
Yeah, I noticed as he was backing up there. There goes the R shot, open the way.
This is, I mean, I would say this is the first of the big space boosts that you want to incorporate when you're doing a run too. Not that it's an easy one, but the amount of time that you save with it.
Massive time save. I'd say that's where Flash kind of took his lead over me because I don't go for it. Sci-Fi going for it as well. Let's see if he gets it. Oh, he misses the a input there, and here's... I mean, he could have backed it up in the actual room itself, but he might just be going for it again here. Looks like he is.
I wonder if he's not confident with the positioning for the backup.
Oh, he got it second try, though. I think the backup... I think that might save time still if you're going for the backup, but I'm not too familiar with that strategy.
And Mike,
Well, so...
just getting up into this item in space.
Nice.
It's not often that you only see that one speed block broken.
Getting the diagonal shot there, very nice. Not easy at all. Another high five. Nice. And as Autumn mentioned, this room coming up here on Mike's screen is a notorious room where either we have a new strat called quote-unquote maybe like acid worm skip strat where we lay a bunch of bombs.
This strat is quote-unquote easy and quote-unquote free.
Obviously, Mike, being a ZM main, has done acid worm skip hundreds and hundreds of times, so it makes sense he would get it immediately for free.
Yeah, textbook display there.
But the alternate route, saving not much time, maybe a second or so, is just doing a frame perfect crumple job. I mean, you get 3-4 tries at it, so...
Mike not committing to the space boost into Pillar Highway.
I can respect it. He has a pretty major lead here, so why even go for it? Unless he's on
the swag for the people. Give the people what they want. But no, it's absolutely the right call to go for the safer strat when the risk is high and the reward is low.
Sci-Fi not getting the AWS bombs there. There you go.
And it looks like I stand corrected. Pikal in chat saying that Sector 6 is very easy. In fact, it is free.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
My bad.
I personally think Sector 3 is harder, but that's just me.
But Mike coming up into the hardest part of cleanup here, Sector 4 cleanup. Let's see if he can lock in and get this strat.
Sector 4, let's see. Alright, he's in Sector 4. Ooh! Second try space jump there. Losing a major amount of time. It's over. It's so brover. Ooh, Sci-Fi with a nice little... Looks like he's going to space boost out of here. He's going for the strats here. No! I can tell...
It feels so bad missing the space boost out of here.
I could tell as he was entering that door that it was too low. Yeah.
As someone who lapped out a huge space boost across this entire section of Sector 6, I can't tell you how many times I have bonked getting out of that room.
There we go. Much better entry into the door there. Yep, not
Mike
easy.
with a nice Crumble City here.
And also Mike got this missile Sci-Fi just got on his first pass, but Sci-Fi getting the bomb skip, which Mike did not get. Nice little 2 to 3 second time save there. But still, that loses, or that means Sci-Fi is even further behind than me, or than I thought, at least originally. So I didn't notice he skipped that room earlier. And that room is pretty much just like a preference. You just get it on your way in, get it on your way out. Doesn't matter too much. I guess this space boost Mike is doing here is more free than the Sector 3-1. Sector 3-1 is the third easiest space boost in cleanup. Mike getting a nice bonk there. Good job.
I just wish there were a way to do a category extension for all space boosts.
Right.
But then we'd have to figure out what counts as all space boosts.
Yeah, right. And also, if you count like Nightmare Space Boost,
you count Nightmare Space Boost. That is absolutely a space boost.
Well, then that means there's like 4 people that can do that category. Sci-Fi showing off Crumble City.
Everybody can get Nightmare Space Boost with enough attempts.
I guess that's invalid. You just.
I mean, if I can get it, any mid-level runner can get it with enough attempts. Are they going to be trying it for 10 minutes? Maybe.
I mean, even Sector 1 Space Boost that I was practicing, I get it maybe 1 out of every 15 tries, so I can imagine Nightmare Space Boost is probably 4 times as difficult. I mean, I'm just twice as difficult for I don't know, but it's definitely more difficult. As we see Mike Food kind of closing out. He's gotten through Ripper Tower. He's gotten through all the tough rooms here. It's really just about Zosby Speedway and Sachs here.
Finally getting the returns from the powerbomb laid earlier on the way to Notori.
But in that category, yeah, I would just start in Sector 5 every time. And then just reset. Have like 2 finished runs and 200 resets.
Oh no, you definitely have to start that run from the beginning of the game. That way the run truly starts 55 minutes in.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great run. Oh, Mike is going for the speed keep here. Let's see if he gets it. This is a very tough trick here. We have to keep your... not only you have to do what he just did here, where you have to get these space... Oh, he missed it. That's okay, though. You have to keep your speed booster on those crumble blocks, or right before. And then kind of weave and wad your way in between that little area there, and then spark into that area there where that missile was. Very difficult to do, because when you have a speed keep, any kind of spot you're at, you can easily just hit A in a direction and then bang, you speed boost. So it's hard to explain, but very difficult to do.
Yeah, and at this point, you're over an hour and a half into the run, and you're just inviting a situation where you have a kill the run immediately button.
Yeah, the backup. Over just getting that missile before you do Zosby Speedway, I believe it loses at least like 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, because I remember I used to go for that speed keep every time because I didn't know Sci-Fi also going for it. But as soon as I just didn't go for the speed keep, it was just like a free 5, 6, 7, 8 time save for myself. Let's see if Sci-Fi can get it though. The easiest way that I've known for it is going into Morph Ball.
And Sci-Fi getting it.
Nice! Yeah, the Morph Ball way is a lot easier because you can't just accidentally hit space, the speed boost while you're weaving in and out of there. So the Morph Ball makes it much easier.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to when people go for Screwless Low Height in the escape sequence, where there's a Morph Ball setup that makes it just much more forgiving to try to get through.
Right, that's actually a great
also underrated point about going into Ball, you can't accidentally grab a ledge if you're in Ball.
Yep, grabbing ledges, accidentally hitting A and going for a speed boost. Many reasons why the Morph Ball makes it... I mean, we're saying easier, but it's still incredibly difficult.
Yeah, and the cost is usually somewhere in the ballpark of about 1/4 of a second for time lost to morphing and unmorphing. So, not a huge cost, and definitely I'd rather lose 1/4 of a second than not go for the fast strat.
Funny, because Sci-Fi's been going for everything, and he's lost some time, like for example on Pillar Highway and the space boost in Sector 6, but he's also saving time as well on what we just saw there in the speed keep, among other rooms. So I think he's still about 1.5 minutes behind though. So it looks like he lost maybe like 20 seconds in cleanup, which that's respectable for going for every single hard strategy. Mad respects to Sci-Fi here. And Mike is like,
137.22 on the elevator transition for Mike.
I mean, Mike is on sub 140 pace, so like, Sci-Fi is still on a very solid run here. Like, Mike is very well potentially going to beat his personal
Mike getting
best.
the fun bonus in SAX round 1 where you time it just wrong and get shot.
Oh, you hate to see that because he was only 1 shot away from, nope, 2 shots away from killing it too.
Yeah, I can't even say
Mike.
4 shots a myth at this point.
Yeah, Mike definitely losing some time there. That's a bummer.
For a while, I used to get that shot so consistently for whatever reason that I started incorporating some jumps into my setup to jump over just in case.
And notoriously, that's where I lost my lead against Flash and lost 15 seconds to my PB. I lost my 141. I just missed a couple shots there in sacks and lost 15 seconds, and that's how it is, I guess.
If anyone hasn't seen Ronald Rage versus Flash Frost, the SAX fight alone is enough reason to watch that race.
Yeah, we had 5 lead changes from beginning of Sax fight till the end of the run. 5 lead changes.
Like, that commentary wrote itself. I didn't even need to think, I just had to say what y'all were doing.
Although me running past the elevator because I was watching and low-key hoping
4 shot is a myth.
Flash would mess up his sax fight, which he didn't. He did mess up the Hornode, which I didn't know until after the run or the race. But
And PCal taking a little bit look at the times in chat here, saying that Mike's lead was at that point in time a 1 minute and 25-second difference. Oh, and Mike a little late, so gonna get the bonk. Sci-Fi getting the door fix there. You love to see it. Did Mike do the jump for the new strat?
the door fix, yeah, he did. If you're talking about the strat leading propulsion sequence.
Yeah, I'm talking about setting up for the sweet spot for the ice core.
Oh, I don't know.
Looks like it.
So
And Mike, knowing that he has the lead, waiting for the scream to complete instead of trying to optimize to get rid of the scream, but dropping the stun lock a shot early. Still, get your GGs in chat for Mike, as Mike Food going to finish this race in first place with a 1 hour, 40 minute, and 32 second time. That is a very respectable time here. And Sci-Fi winning the race in our hearts, getting the low height swag spark.
Low height. Yeah, Sci-Fi is like 69-0 as far as like swag stress versus Mike. He's gotten so many swag strats in this run. Swag is in like frame perfect, insane.
So, Ron,
Well
looking
done.
forward to racing Mike?
I mean, if he gets a 140-31, I mean, maybe I can sum a best and beat him. But something in me tells me that he's not gonna get a 140-31. He'll probably get lower. And so no, I'm not excited about racing him.
And everybody get your GGs in chat for Sci-Fi as well, with an excellent run here, finishing in 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 34 seconds, according to racetime.gg.
Well, I guess my sum of best is a 139-39. But still, that's my sum of best, so.
Just PB in the race.
Yeah, I'll just PB by a minute and a half. And then we'll see if Mike does even worse. But still, yeah, no, both of these runners, as we assumed, doing very well here with some solid times. And hopefully they come in for an interview, because I'd like to know what they have to say about this run, because Mike had some really good RNG, and I didn't really notice any massive time losses besides like maybe like 2 segments.
Yeah, and if either runner would like to come in for an interview and hasn't gotten the link, just go ahead and shoot Autumn a DM here, and I can get that fixed for you.
I know it's late, but come on, let's get in for a couple questions. Come on.
Well, it's only late for Mike. It's pretty early for Sci-Fi.
Oh, true that. Got Sci-Fi on here. Anybody wants to bring him up? Or Sci-Fi, you can just click live on air. Come on. Let me see. Come up. Well, I don't know if I want to bring him up if he doesn't want to be brought in. Well, I guess he wouldn't have joined if he didn't want to come up, so. Hey, Sci-Fi. GG's. Muted at the moment, but...
Hello?
Hello. I know you didn't get the time that you maybe wanted to get, but I gotta respect all the swag strats. I kind of called them out as the run went. You had some great frame perfect tricks there throughout that entire run.
Thanks.
How do you think your run went? Besides, you know, you probably were watching and saw Mike was ahead, but I mean, besides that, just how do you think everything went?
I wasn't watching.
Oh.
It would have been, this race would have been much closer without the strategy at Sector 6 cleanup. What it is. I think besides that, and animals, it was okay execution. So I felt good about this run.
Yeah, the stretchies, that was kind of the biggest time loss I think we saw. For it's just unfortunate, you know. Things happen. We're all human. We all make mistakes. That's funny you mentioned you weren't watching, because you just went for the hardest strats and cleanup for everything. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't go for Pillar Highway Space Boost, but yeah.
Oh, right. You didn't do that. Right. But you still tried to exit the room doing the space boost, which is...
Yeah, I did.
You did Sector 1 space boost. You did the other Sector 6 space boost. So, Saveless. Like, I could just name them off. And, one of the things I liked the most, which probably saved the least amount of time, was the pillar, or not pillar, but the after you get power bombs, and not the Ripper climb, but the Ripper, I forget the room, but leaving that room where the power bomb and getting that jump and hitting the bomb.
Oh yeah, that's a frame perfect jump. I'm glad I got that.
It was frame perfect. I wasn't sure. That was incredible. So it was frame perfect. Okay.
And got the springboard afterward too, I think. That's nice.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, 141.33. Curious on what kind of your plans are for the future. Are you gonna keep doing hundo? I know you've pretty much you got a sub 140 already, so you have a great PB. But I'm just curious on what your plans are for the future in Fusion, whether it's hundo 80% or whatever.
I know, I'm probably just gonna run hundo for the duration of the tourney, and then I'll know after that.
Yeah, and it looks like, looking at the bracket, your next opponent, once we get into the bracket phase, will be going up against Monkey SMB.
Monkey, I am dead.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Just you know,
Number 1 seed.
Just win the race against Monkey. Easy. No problem.
Yeah, just win.
Just beat the number 1 seed, who is probably the most consistent player of the tournament, and just did a run at SGDQ, and his run at SGDQ was a 137.
Yeah, I can totally do that.
Hey, I gotta run against Mike Food. God dang it. Gosh dang it. I'm hoping we can get Mike in here for maybe like a couple questions, but I know it, as we mentioned earlier, it's early for you, late for Mike. So if he doesn't want to join, that's totally fine. But yeah, I'm gonna type for a second, Autumn. Yeah, any questions for Sci-Fi or anybody? Maybe not. I mentioned this in the race itself, but I gotta commend you for not only going for all the hardest strats besides maybe like one or two things here and there, but the fact you weren't even watching the race. I thought you were going for them because you knew you were behind by like, it wasn't even that long, maybe like a minute, 10 seconds tops. Yeah, like you lost by a minute and 2 seconds, which is totally respectable.
So the strats I go for, I pretty much do them the same as PB attempts. So I'm confident going through them.
I like the strategy in a
Respect
race,
it.
especially against an opponent who's so high up the leaderboard as well. Just going into the race, trying to get as close to a PB as possible.
Yeah, I can definitely respect it. I mean, that's like the opposite of me, where not the opposite, I would say, but I typically try and go for like the safer strats, but just, execute as well as I possibly can and make it consistent. But yeah, I mean, arguably with Fusion, with the RMG it has, I mean, probably ideal just to go for tough strats for the highest possible time save. So I can respect it. Mike just told me that he is done. Yeah, he's even gone off VC and our other voice chat. So he will not be joining, which is fine. He's going to sleep, just like I will be.
Let's get some
Here in
more
a little bit.
GGs in chat for Mike Food, though. Moving on, winning Group D.
Yep. Mike Food getting first place, Sci-Fi getting second place. So both of these runners will be advancing to the top 8. So congratulations, Sci-Fi. Even though it will be against Monkey, you at worst got top 8 in the tournament. So congratulations.
Thanks.
And with that, I think that wraps it up for this race. And not only the race, but that wraps it up. This was the last race of our group stage. So coming up next week, we will be moving on to the tournament bracket, which is single elimination. You do your race, you lose, you're done.
Yeah, we're coming into top 8 here. We have all of the matchups set. So we have, as we've mentioned, Sci-Fi versus Monkey. We've got Mike Food versus Ron. And looking over on the other side of the bracket, we're going to have Beria going up against Destructor. And Thunder versus Herc.
Nice.
So once we get into this top 8, there are no bad runners left in this tournament.
That's true. And judging by what you just said, it's looking like the top 4 is going to be really high. I mean, Beria, from what you just said, Beria versus Herc is definitely going to be the match that I'm most interested in.
It's not Beria versus Herc. Beria is up against Destructor.
Oh, Beria versus Destructor. Who is Herc up against?
Herc
again?
gets Thunder.
Oh. Well, sorry, Herc. Thunder is kind of good at this game. But still, I mean, top 8 is going to be super hype. And just from tournaments, top 4 is going to be even more hype. I'm so looking forward to this bracket stage. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, chat, who do we think's taking the whole thing? Are we going to go for the easy pick in Monkey, or does anybody in chat think that someone is going to steal out that win?
I will
must
beat
say,
Monkey.
Yeah. Monkey, if he wasn't playing much, like, I could see a world where maybe Monkey hasn't played much and he has, like, for his, from what he thinks is a bad run and gets like a 138 and then Destructor PBs and gets like a good 137. Although I don't know Destructor's PB, but I'm just guesstimating.
136.52.
Oh, so like Monkey gets like a plus 2 minute run, and is like a high 130 or like a mid 137, and then Destructor PBs or gets close to it. But Monkey has been playing a lot of Fusion. He's been optimizing. He's been playing 80%. He's been PBing at 80%. He's been playing 80% easy. He just got a 109 and 100 or an 80% easy. A 109. So it should be Monkey, but what's beautiful about Fusion is you never know. And we have some great runners in this tournament. As you mentioned, Destructor. There's Thunder, who's incredible as well. Baria. I mean, Mike. So you never truly know until the matches are played.
That is true, and I look forward to watching them.
But yeah, that seems about it for me, and I hope you guys look forward, and we will be coming up in the next week or so with those top 8 races.
Yeah. Sci-Fi, do you have any closing thoughts before we hand the channel back to Speedgaming?
Look forward to my match versus Monkey. I am definitely not gonna get destroyed.
I look forward to watching it.
So do I.
Here's hoping that you can pull off the upset. Sorry, Monkey.
GG Sci-Fi, and thank you all so much for watching. I am Ronald Rage,